everybody. Welcome to the Life Jacket Podcast, where we talk about topics help you get through the waves of life. My name's AJ,
And I'm blessed.
and if you've been with us this long, we are now on season 3. So thank you all so much for the constant support, the likes, the comments, the subscribes. Me and Bless truly appreciate it. It really does go a really long way. And for those that are new, we talk about topics that help you get through the waves of life, whether the waves are big or small. So thanks for coming along with us, and let's dive into what you guys know if you're new. Our win of the week. So Bless, you want to start with your win of the week?
Of course. Yeah. So my win of the week, I hit a PR in the gym, deadlifting. I don't really do it too much, but I hit 445, getting stronger. It's always good seeing some progress in the gym. So that's my win of the week. What about yourself?
My win of the week, I started a 75-day hard.
Whew.
So it's 2 workouts a day, a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book. Oh my God, what else? Can't really eat a lot of like fried food, can't eat fried foods, can't drink any alcohol, can't drink any sodas. So it's been challenging, but I know that it's something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to getting this through.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
seeing it through. So let's dive into our topic today. Taking risks versus playing it safe. We're in 2025, and a lot of you are probably on the fence about, you want to play it safe or do you want to take the risk? So I'll start by saying that, anybody that's successful or has done what they wanted to in their life has always taken a risk. The more you stay complacent, the more you're just kind of there. You're just going through life. You're not really doing what you want to do. Like, how many of you work your job every day, but you hate your job and you're just there because it just pays the bills or it's a nice check, but your dream job that you want to go for or that big thing in life that you want to do, it's going to involve taking that risk that you want to take in your life. And I'd rather you be scared of taking the risk and actually doing it than scared of take not taking the risk, and then you're 5 years older and it's like you're still complacent, you're still in the same place. So in 2025, make sure you take that risk. I know it's scary, I know you're comfortable, I know you're scared to fail on the internet, I know you're scared to fail in front of your friends, but just make sure you step out and take that risk that you want to take in 2025.
Yeah, man, that's facts. Like the difference between, taking the risk versus, staying complacent. I believe you kind of when you're complacent, you're comfortable, right?
Hmm.
And the psychological part of playing it safe is that people fear failure, like you said, failure, rejection, and the unknown. It keeps people stagnant a lot of the time, and so playing it safe, it's cool to stay in that safe zone for a little bit, but you have to, if you want to progress in life and do more out of life, which we always talk about, you need to get out of there and start taking risks because there's so many benefits of taking the risk because you just never know what might happen on the other side.
Yeah.
Like the average person that we know, or like not the average, but like the celebrities and the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, we would not know any of their names if they didn't take a risk. So, you know, I believe taking risks versus playing it safe, there's a balance, but you should lean more to taking those risks if you want to get more than just the average day-to-day basic life that you might regret 5, 10 years later.
Yeah, and that requires change, right?
Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
only thing that remains constant in the universe is change. If you know, you know. And it's one of those things where it's scary. It's scary to change. It's scary to leave that job. It's scary to move to that new city. It's scary to, if you want to, like you said, get in the gym, change your body. It's scary. It's intimidating. You're nervous. The anxiety starts to kick in. So yeah, it requires a lot of risk, but at the end of the day, it's always worth it. Like
Hmm.
like we'll talk about later in the episode about you may encounter on some failures along the way,
Yeah,
but I'd rather risk it than just sit back and be complacent.
yeah. Because it also leads to personal growth.
Hmm.
It helps what we talk about in the last couple seasons, resilience.
Yeah.
Like when you take a risk, you have to be resilient because that risk is not going, whatever it could be, is not going to happen overnight. So you have to be resilient. But resiliency builds your character, builds you as a person, to get hit, get back up, and continue to keep going. And that's like a big benefit in taking the risk. And the difference versus, reckless decisions
Hmm.
versus calculated risk is something that the viewers, you guys should consider when you decide to take that risk. Don't just make an impulsive decision, but calculate it as well, where it is a risky situation, but the outcome could be substantial.
Yeah, don't be like Steve Harvey who took the risk and was homeless for like 3 years. Like I'm not cool, yo. It's like don't be that risky, but make sure it's calculated. Make sure you map it out. If you're gonna quit your job, make sure you save some money. Make sure you appropriately take the risk. And so, speaking of risk, Bless, what's a risk that you've taken in your life?
Hmm. So yeah, so the risk I've taken was I was 20, I think I was 20. I
Hmm.
joined the army. And, you know, after, 9/11 and hearing all the negative things about being in the military and, the possibility of going to war, death, and all the negative things about it, there's also the positive things about it. And that was a risk because it's something that I never did before. I was in college, I was getting a degree, but I knew I wanted a little bit more in regards to serving my country, along with the benefits. Don't get me wrong, with joining the military. So that was one of the risks, but it was a calculated risk per
Hmm.
se. I didn't just say wake up one morning and was like, I'm just going to join the army. It actually took me about like a year and a half after high school to be like, this is something I want to do. It's a risky,
Hmm.
but I know the benefits, and clearly I'm still in after 13 years. So it was a good risk, but I wouldn't be where I am today, honestly, if it wasn't for that risk that I took 13 years ago. What about yourself?
I would say a risk would be starting my life coaching business. Life coaching is something I've always been passionate about. But there's a lot of controversy. People are like, well, what's a life coach? And are you a
Hmm.
therapist? And, I took the risk. I took money out my account. I built my own website. I'm very vulnerable on the internet. I'm talking about topics that a lot of people don't really talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm putting myself out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are scared of themselves on the internet. You're scared of failure, scared of, oh, if I don't get enough likes. Some posts, I've gone viral twice. I've gotten 1 million views on posts. Some posts I've gotten 5.
Yeah.
And so, that there's a risk of, well, do I want to quit or do I want to give up? But I know the risk I took when I signed up for this and something I'm really passionate about, something I want to do. And it's when people tell me, they see me all the time, like, wow, like, I'm really proud of you, really doing your thing.
Yeah.
Keep going. So like I knew the risk is worth it. And I know like it's gonna get to where I want it to get to one day. Right now it's just about consistency. It's
Hmm.
about being patient. It's about not giving up, which is why 90% of businesses fail
Facts.
because they give up. They took the risk. It sounded cool, but it's like, I ain't really gonna do that. So I'm gonna just, quit and
Yeah.
do my own thing. So I would say that's definitely a risk I took, but it's a rewarding risk, and I know it's gonna pay off for me in the
Yeah.
future.
Facts. And risks, they don't have to be monumental.
Right.
We talk about the small that continually builds to the large.
Hmm.
So when you are out there, viewers, and you decide to take a risk, you can, whatever your goal is, whatever that risk may be, if you take small steps, small little risk, and reevaluate those, and continually take those bigger risks, then it'll just be monumental at the end. But you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and start a business. No, you can still start a business and still have your 9 to 5, but you're still taking a risk on being out there, which is essentially what you did.
Yeah.
And then, eventually it's gonna grow and continue getting bigger and bigger.
And I think another risk that I think we know we took was starting the podcast.
Oh yeah.
We're in a podcast era. A lot of people don't want people having mics. A lot of people don't want people talking on podcasts. A lot of people think podcasts are stupid. A lot of people are like, well, you're just gonna be another podcast. Me and Bless are like, no, nah, we good. We're in our own lane. We're gonna do what we want to do. We know what we're gonna talk about. And there's a risk because everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah.
But it just means that me and Bless, we believe in our podcast. And
Facts.
so we're
Yeah.
not, we feel like, I didn't really want to tell our people when we started, people are going to be like, oh, everybody got a podcast. You sure you want to do that? You going to pay for the equipment? Where are you going to get this from? What
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
going to talk about? Who you going to have on? It's all that negative energy I'm not looking for.
Yeah.
Just
No.
be completely transparent. So, it's a risk we took with the podcast. Everybody's a podcast, but, I think we're both happy with the risk we took and the
Facts.
decision. We're coming up on a year of shooting of shooting. So we're on season 3. So
Hey.
I say it's been worth it.
Yeah. And like I said, it was calculated.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, let's do a podcast. But then we took the steps back to calculate the
Hmm.
steps to get to where you are today.
Absolutely.
But besides all this, taking risk stuff, we're going to do a quick segment. It's called Off Topic. This is new. We just started it for
Hmm.
season 3. And so I got a question for AJ. It's completely off topic. And I want to know the card game Uno, right?
Right.
You have a draw 4, you have a draw 2. Are you allowed to stack those?
Absolutely not. It's draw 2 and draw 4 for a reason.
No, no. So you're telling me I
No.
can't have a draw 2, then you have a draw 4, stack it.
No.
Next person draw 6.
No, y'all could read. People can read. You can't put a draw 4 on a draw 2. In fact, if I'm playing Uno with someone and that's the rules, I'm probably not playing for real. Like y'all got it.
Yeah, you be pulling cards all day.
Pulling cards all day. Nah, y'all got hooked on phonics. Y'all read. Draw 2, draw 4. Y'all could read. We're not stacking. And not when I'm playing, at least.
Another Uno question. So say there's like red down and you need to throw a red. You got no color. You got every other color but red. And you go to grab your card. You keep going until you get a red card or that same number, or do you just take one
Yeah, I
card?
think one pluck is cool.
One pluck is cool.
Yeah, one pluck is cool.
All right, you heard it from him. He said you can't stack and one pluck is cool. Let me hear what you guys have to say after this segment. But now, let's go into our life jacket question.
Life jacket segment. Our life jacket segment question of the episode is blessed. So, what is a life lesson that you learned in your life that you feel that you can throw overboard now because it no longer pertains to your life anymore?
So this is a good one. The life lesson that I was always told growing up was go to school, get good grades, get a job, retire. You can't do that no more. Not in today's world. You have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs just to make ends meet because the cost of living, unfortunately, does not coincide or go parallel with the wages that we have today. So I'm not saying an education is bad because I have 2 degrees, so
Right.
I can't knock that. But I can't also rely just strictly on that and think, okay, when I turn 62, I think you can collect or whatever that is going to be there waiting for me. That's my life lesson. Like, yes, it's good to have a foundation, but as we're talking about in this taking risks segment, you have to take the risk to do something more than the basics because you're just literally trapped. You're working this situation that you might not even like. Like you said, you be at a job, hate the job, hate the boss.
Hate it.
5 years later,
still there.
Still there.
Still there. Still just there. Still getting that same check. Still living life with no purpose, just existing.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do it.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that feel the same way. Like
Mhm.
they have this idea, they have this dream, but they're just so scared to pursue it and they're scared to make that move. So, and I think that kind of segues into, playing it safe and, why do people play it so safe? And, I'll take the lead. I'll say that I think it's twofold. I think our parents ingrained us into playing it safe.
Yeah.
Get your nice corporate job, you get paid every 2 weeks, get your 401k, get your benefits, and stay there.
Yeah.
But now I'm good. Like I don't, for me, and I don't know how the viewers feel, but life is just so much bigger than just working a 9 to 5. I know people who just work a 9 to 5, go home, eat dinner, go to sleep, repeat. I'm good.
Yeah.
That's not the life I'm trying to live. So I think that's one option. And I think the second way is the second segue part of it is I think like you said, people are scared. We're in a environment where everybody judges you, especially if you're on social media. People are watching you, trust me. When you start your business, you start anything, people are watching how many likes and are they selling their products? Are they getting views? What's the page going to like? I think people are scared to fail in front of your family and your friends. So what happens is you're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna be too cool.
Yeah.
Just chill and stay complacent, which is fine. Well, it's not fine, but if it's fine for you, that's great. There's plenty of people, and don't get me wrong, viewers, if you're someone who's completely fine with working your 9 to 5 and coming home and maybe take a vacation here, that's completely cool. But if you're somebody who's in their purpose and their passion, wants to live a life, wants to help people, wants to live life abundantly, then you can't play it safe.
Yeah.
You cannot play it safe.
And just to reiterate or to kind of piggyback off what you're saying,
Hmm.
if you're doing your 9 to 5 job and you're happy, granted, we want to make sure that y'all don't just be like, oh, well, I'm happy and this still makes sense. No, like if you're happy doing what you're doing and you really go to bed at night saying, I've hit my self actualization and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my purpose. This is my why. Then granted, that's completely fine. But I'll tell you this: 90% of people are not happy.
They're
90% of
not.
people are unhappy with the situation that they're in and the
Hmm.
reason, and they're continually waking up doing the same thing over and over again, and they're playing it safe to stay in that comfort zone because, like I said, of the psychological reason of the fear, the
Hmm.
discomfort, and the fear of failure. So once uh once AJ said again, like, man, if you're unhappy with it, take that risk and just make sure it's calculated.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, we look at older people, for those who have grandparents and older aunts, older uncles. Even if you see people like they've been interviewed on TikTok or Instagram, most old people say, I wish I would have done this.
Hmm.
I wish I would have took the risk and traveled more. I wish I would have started my business. And now I feel like they're older and they can't do it. Well, if you're younger, you don't want to live life and just regret things
Yeah,
later down the road. So you can play it safe. There's nothing wrong with it. But man, like if you've got anything in you that's like, man, I really want to do this in 2025 and I've been holding back and I really want to do it, just take the calculated risk and do it.
yeah,
It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you. You want to probably be happier at the end of the
facts.
day.
And I think 2025, this era is more acceptable to taking risk
Hmm.
than back in the 1999 or
Absolutely.
even earlier than that, because now we have so much accessibility
Mm,
to everything that the risk can even be more calculated,
mm.
more structured. There's resources that are free, there's programs that can help you, and you have more information. We're in the era of information. So now, out of all times to take a risk, we're in a great area to do it
Mhm.
and to become successful from it because of all the information and the resources that we can reach from.
And if you really hate your job and you're trying to, stack up some side money while you start your business, you can do Uber, you can do Lyft,
Yeah,
Amazon Flex. I've met so many Uber or Lyft drivers that are like, yeah, I'm just doing this to save up some money so I can open up my own business. My 9 to 5, it was just taking up too much of my time. I like my free time. So there's so many different ways, sources of income you can make, while you're working on your purpose, that 9 to 5, when you're taking that risk, there's, like you said, the calculated risk and making sure like, hey, if I quit my 9 to 5 and I'm starting my own business, I can still get some income by doing Uber Eats,
yeah,
by doing Amazon Flex, by bartending. There's a lot of ways you can still make money.
absolutely. And so let's hit on to the final thoughts. What are your final thoughts for the viewers? Um,
I think my final thoughts for this episode is, if you're someone in 2025 and you are on the edge of taking that risk, just do it. Just take the risk. Um, You're not happy. You hate your job. There's something bigger for you, there is something bigger for yourself out there, but you're being complacent and you don't, you don't want to take the risk. Just make sure you do it. Um, I'd hate, for you to look at yourself in 2030 and be like, wow, I probably should do that 5 years ago. I'm still in the same place that I am.
yeah,
I haven't really taken the risk and do anything I wanted to do. I've been letting, anxiety and fear of failure hold me back. So in 2025, whatever your heart desire, what's in your heart to, take that jump and take that risk for what you want to do, go ahead and do it.
yeah. And my 2 cents is, like I said, 2025, we're in a new year.
Hmm.
We're in an information era. So learn how to assess those risks and overcome that fear.
Hmm.
And just remember, taking risk gets you to where you're meant to be. Playing it safe keeps you where you are. And that's going to conclude our episode.
That's it. All right, bye. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.